Okay, so let's go ahead and get After Effects open, and we'll start a new project. And with our new composition, just make sure that it's set to whatever it is that you obviously want it to be set to, in terms of its speed. Now, in this case, you want to make a decision real quick if you want to make this 10 seconds long or 20 seconds long or 30 seconds long. It doesn't matter so long as it's between 10 and 30. So I'll go ahead and just make this sort of 10 seconds long. I might make it 20 seconds long here. And make sure it's set to the right aspect ratio, 1920 by 1080, whatever it was that your source was here. And let's go ahead and import. And what we'll do is we'll import the After Effects, the animation background that we made before. Let's go ahead and import that. And import kind, you want to make sure composition, and go ahead and set the footage dimensions to layer size. Layer size is what we're looking for. So when you import that in, you'll find your animation layers, and the names will all be the same, and you just one by one kind of pop them in. So I'll pop this one in here. All right, good. Okay, cool. So everything. So let's go ahead and get everything where we want it to go from the get-go here, and it's gonna be real simple to get everything moving. So, for example, the easiest way to start off with everything is just kind of get everything where it needs to go. So we want, as it were, all of our what do you call it? Our animation to begin and end with the exact same sort of scenario here. So if I want this to be kind of repeating here, I'll pull this down below the mountains. I'll pull this plane under the city skyline here. Get my plane here. Pull it down here. I'll get my car. I'll get as close as I can to the bridge, and then off to the side here. And right, okay. So let's just start off with the car here. So what we'll do is we have this 20-second long thing. I want my car to go pretty fast. So I'll have my car start here. I'll get my position keyframes up. I'll hit that little button there, and then maybe I'll have my car get past the whole thing in about 6 seconds. And then I'll just sort of grab my position keyframe here. Oops. I'll grab my X position and drag it all the way across here to the other side. Maybe like, what is it, 3,000, something like that? Or maybe more like 2,000. All right, there it is. Let's see what it looks like. I wonder if it's too fast. That's probably good. All right, so we see it kind of passing behind the bridge. Fantastic, cool. All right, and then what we want to do is we want to have that reset. So what I'll do is I'll just grab that that little keyframe there, and then what I'll do is I'll just Control C, and then advance forward one keyframe, and then Control V. That way it's all the way back there again. And then what I can do is I can sort of like just select these, and then just Control C, and then maybe Control V on the other side here. And then, well, what I can do now is I can actually just duplicate this car layer, Control C, Control V, right? And it has all the same keyframes, so I can actually just sort of pull that to the side over here, and maybe even we'd have multiple cars kind of passing through, as it were. Right, like so. And if I wanted to say, for instance, maybe speed this up some, I could even pull these back a little bit, have this car going a bit faster. A little bit faster here, so it kind of overtakes. You can have those going in different speeds. So we'll have multiple cars going. You can see this is kind of catching up and stuff. All right, so while those cars are going, kind of going wild like that, so it's catching up. Oh no! All right, so we can maybe even reproduce it one more time. If you wanted to say, for instance, add a different car, just to have it, move it around and stuff. You have multiple things kind of moving around here and there. Maybe have one past the other one just to kind of give it a little extra depth. All that stuff is fun. All right, so right there we got one thing. We'll call that 1. because we don't want to just obviously reproduce the same animation. We have some unique animations here, right? So we got the one with the car there, but that's all fun there. Okay, the next one we can do the, let's see, this is the sun, I think, or the moon. So we'll have the moon rise and fall, and we'll have the moon rise and fall. We'll have that be like take the entire time here. So what I'll have that do is I'll have that go from here. So let me get my position keyframes up, hit my keyframe, and I'll drag it over to the side, off the edge here, and hit another little keyframe there, and then I'll just pick this up and kind of move it off to the side. And I'm going to see if I can't maybe round that off a little bit with my little handle here. I'll sort of drag that out some, so it sort of pulls off to the side, like so. And that'll be 20 seconds, so we can watch this sort of, so as that slowly rises up and stuff. Very nice. Okay. All right. And so let's do this. What we'll do is we'll have the clouds kind of coming in as well. And so I'm going to have the clouds kind of pass in front of the moon. So let me get cloud 1, and I'll get my position up for cloud 1. It flies off. Okay. All right. And then, okay, so let's, all right, so there's that. Okay, so those are things that are moving, and we can call that moving on a path. The next couple things we want are a 3D moving object, and we want something that has an applied effect. So we'll see if we can apply an effect later on. Very cool. All right. The idea, once again, is that we're going to have things that don't move, and then we're going to have things that do move. So as far as movement goes, movement doesn't have to actually mean position. It could also mean just like the animation in terms of its opacity. So we're going to add a new layer between the sky, and it's going to be, behind the moon. We're going to add some stars here. So like this moon is the layer 7 there. So we'll go ahead and add some stars. So I'm going to make a new shape layer here. So I'm just going to right click and say new, or create. Nope, let's do this here. Let's click off everything and then right click. All right. Okay. Maybe I can kind of like raise this up a little bit here, so I can get below where all the layers are. Right down here, right click and say new shape layer. And I'll just pull the shape layer down some. So this new shape layer here, let me just pull this back to where I can have, I can see everything. We're going to add some, I'm going to add some stars. It's a good way of putting in your sort of opacity here, is to have, like, say for instance, we can call this the moon rising up into the air, and we'll just add some stars here and there. So I'll just grab my ellipse tool, and I'll just make a couple circles here and there, and have the fill be sort of a kind of a soft white, maybe not quite white, but maybe kind of like a grayish color here, just so they don't stand out quite so much. And I'll just continue to add these stars here or there. We'll hold down Shift with my pen just to as I do this. Some will be bigger than others, but I'm going to shrink them down some. Let's see if I can't kind of shrink all these down a little bit. Okay, so with these stars here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all of these stars, and I'm going to hit T on my keyboard for opacity, and I'm just going to make a keyframe for each one. Make sure that keyframe's at the very beginning. Right there at the beginning. And then I'll make another keyframe at the very end. And for my keyframe at the beginning, I'll just make it 0. The opacity will be 0. So they'll fade in, sort of like as nighttime grows, grows darker, they'll fade in here. As you can see, they're kind of just appearing there. And since I have 3 layers that don't move, so here we go. So we can. This is a good idea of like good example of stacking things on top of one another. So these 3 layers aren't moving. We don't have any animations applied to them. So that fulfills that requirement there. As far as the sky goes, I can actually have the sky. I can actually apply an effect to the sky here. So let me actually just right click on this and say create shapes from vector layer. So that'll make this little shape outline here, and I can actually get rid of the background that I made. Just gonna get a little trash can there. There's no trash can here. That's just really on the keyboard. Yep, now it's gone. And what I'll do is I will go to I'll go over here to fill, and maybe I can add some keyframes to the fill. All right, so the last thing so we have a couple things going on here. Let me just kind of recap what we need. So what we need are 3 objects that don't move, right? So we've got those. We got the mountains, the city, and the bridge. They don't move. We need to have 7 things that do move. All right, so we've got car, moon, cloud, plane, right? So the whole idea is that even though we have 2 clouds, the clouds are moving in different directions. They have different animations applied. We didn't just copy and paste these. The cars don't count. The cars count as one thing. The plane counts as one thing. Obviously, all the stars count as one thing. We have like 20 stars, and the moon. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have cars, cloud. That's 3, 4, 5. And then 6 could be the stars, and then 7 could essentially count for the sky, because the sky itself animates. Notice, though, that even though the sky itself does not move, it still has an animation applied to it, so that means it won't count towards one of the background elements that does not move. We want to have some things that don't move, because the whole idea is that if you have things that don't move, it will kind of give greater context to the things that are there, so it'll give it more of a solid feel to it all. So as we can kind of see, the stars are sort of fading in while the sky gets darker as the moon rises up in the sky. Okay, so last thing we need to add is our 3D element. So I'm just going to kind of pull all this down. I'll add this in the very foreground just to have this here. So I'm just going to go ahead and